producer, director, writer. She's a really good friend. So blessed to have her in my life. That's all period.
Thank you.
And yes, I'm so excited to have this conversation. Tell folks more about you, period.
So I'm a part-time comedian.
Okay.
No, just
But I'm true.
No. I'm a filmmaker.
Period.
I am a director, producer, writer, and I love to spend time with family.
Yes.
You know, I love to spend time with my dogs. That's what I try to do, the things that's important to me. And I just love telling stories.
Yeah. But before we dive in, we have a special segment.
Okay.
Some drum roll. The goblins! Oh, smile!
I'm there.
So in this topic, there's gonna be a question you pick out, and then we're gonna have a conversation. So go ahead,
Okay.
pick something.
Let me see. I'll read
Okay.
it out loud.
Yes.
Oh. Oh, is chivalry dead?
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. Expand. Also, what do you define as chivalry?
Somewhat like men that are intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they do the planning and they're like, hey, do you want to go out?
Yes.
And I don't have to worry about booking a reservation because it's booked. And then they pick me up.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's so nice.
And you know what? I don't even expect guys to be like, open the car door. My thing is, if you're not going to do it every time, don't do it the first few days. Because I feel like it's fake, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it is because guys, they don't do that anymore.
They don't.
They're like, you want to just meet me there?
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. In today's time, you're supposed to because you don't want a guy to know where you live. So
Yeah.
if you're doing it, it should be a guy that you've been having conversations with for a while before you say like, hey, come pick me up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's dead.
I feel like it's dead for like Gen Z millennials because I've noticed that I see it more in, let's just say, men that are more seasoned.
Okay, season.
She's like, no, but I do agree because I feel like chivalry is the same thing, right? Like, it's like, hey, I want to make sure you're comfortable. I'm going to like, I expect someone to open the door for me or just like walk outside the street. And I just feel like people are just trying to be chill and be suave and be like,
too cool.
Like, you pursue me, I don't pursue you. And I feel like we're queens. We should be treated as such. Let's dive into today's topic of listening to your own voice. So when it comes to your journey as a filmmaker, as an overall creative, just in life, how have you navigated listening to your own voice or trying to listen to your own voice?
Weed. No.
How do you make every day a yay?
Weed.
Wait, no. That was funny. Shout out Charles. Listening to my own voice. For me, I'm the type of person that talk to myself a lot.
I feel that.
Like a lot. Where it may be like, oh, that's not normal. But like I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah.
And I have those moments, you know, with myself where I question myself. And also I used to be a type of person that would take in a lot of people advice.
Yeah.
Like I would ask you, everybody for their perspective. Just not because I'm going to do what they said, but just to see how would they go about this situation. And what I found out later on was that my thoughts and my ideas were not mine. It was a little bit of this person and that person and that person. And whatever happened or situation that happened, the outcome, like it was supposed to happen. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got to this point to realize that.
Exactly.
But it just made me realize, like, man, my thoughts are not my, like, the way I reacted to this situation was not me.
When was there like a specific moment you were like, no, I feel like this is somebody else that's doing this and I'm just channeling what I heard from them versus like, this is what I would do?
It was a lot in the beginning of like my career as a filmmaker. A lot because I worked in a predominantly white industry. So a lot of that was me coming into it and also not used to being in predominantly white spaces. And when you're in those spaces, you have to learn how to walk like they walk, talk like they talk.
Code switching the thing.
Yes, but I had to talk to people like, okay, this person has some really microaggression. How do I handle this situation? And my auntie is like, you know, she's like, you tell them this, period. And sometimes I would go into it like that, and then I would realize like, but that's not me.
Exactly.
So
you can't always get away with that.
Yeah, and I'm glad I didn't because I would have been fired messing with her or blackmailed. So it's like I had to listen to myself and figure out like the best way that I want to handle people when they're coming at me with microaggression. Because if I did it the way she told me or somebody else told me to do it, who knows where I would be right now. Yeah. So I just have to, I guess I had to learn the game and learn how to play the game.
I definitely feel like, because we've had conversations about this, about how we have to play by certain rules, being who we are in the film industry. Like, is that something you acknowledge when you first got there already? Like, noticing, like, hey, this is a predominantly white space, I need to operate by their rules? Or, like, when was that awakening where it's like, okay, things are going to be different for me?
You know, I never felt like I need to operate by their rules. I think there's a time and a place for everything. Yeah. And when somebody has microaggression, I'm not gonna lie, I am working on it. Okay. Of like checking people in a nice way, because my idea of checking people is like, yo, chill the fuck out. Yeah. And that works for me. So like what works for other people works for them. So I think navigating that space, like I can't really speak on for other people how to navigate, because you never truly know what you would do in those situations. Literally, until you're in that situation. But I do, when I am in those situations, I do talk to people that may have experience in those situations, but I don't go and tell them like word for word what this, like, my mom would be like, if I was you, I would tell them and then it's like, wait, do I quote literally what you said? Yes. And then I would get in there and say nothing what my mom said, because I'm only saying what I said. And then I would leave and be like, man, I should have said this and that. I missed this because I was listening to her and what she said, and I missed all of the things that I wanted to say. Yeah. So I just learned early on, like, I can't listen to what other people say. I can take people's advice. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, it has to be my last thought. It has to be my last word. Exactly. And I have to stand on that. Yeah. I feel that, because I can relate to that, just navigating, like, white spaces in, like, the corporate realm, too. Just, like, in tech, where I had to find my own way to communicate and be myself, because if I took other folks' advice, I wouldn't be here either. That's what I'm saying. Be gone. Yeah. And it sucks because we shouldn't have to play the game. And I think that's why it's beautiful when we can create our own spaces. So like when I was on the set of your project, okay, period. Like it was just so amazing to see. I mean, I know you were producing, directing, writing, all of that, but it was amazing because now this is a space you created. Like, you don't have to play by the rules because you created the rules. Yeah. And I think that's also, like, this is the power of creating your own table. Like, you don't get a seat, like, have your own table. Yeah. So. And, you know, when I create these tables, I want people to feel like they have a voice. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, everybody should have a voice. But you have to decide what you're willing to listen to. Yeah. You know? That's a big thing. Yeah. That's a huge thing, because you're already listening to you already have so many voices in your head going from yourself, telling yourself multiple things. You shouldn't do this. You should do that. Then you got other people based on having their own experience and life experience telling you what you shouldn't do. Yeah. And they probably wouldn't even do or follow half of the things they're telling you to do. Exactly. You will never know that you're ready until you jump off the porch. When was that moment for you where you felt like you jumped off the porch and you were like, I'm betting on myself? I was always jumping off the porch. Okay. She always jumped off the porch. Okay. I was a bad kid. Look, I really was. But no, I was always jumping off the porch. Even like my first time directing a short film.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like,
period.
I was assisting somebody, and I knew that, you know, some of the people I would see directors coming in and out of the shows. And I'm like, man, I can do what they do.
Period.
Let me go do it and show them my thing.
Okay, good. I cried.
But then, look, the first film, I hid it for 2 years when it was done. I never showed anybody.
Wait, which film is this?
It was the one I did with the school shooting.
Oh, wow.
It's on YouTube now, so anybody can go watch it.
Okay,
it's called Teacher of the Year.
Okay, period.
But I hid it for 2 years. And like, although I was ready to jump off the porch and like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I had a whole crew. You saw how my crew. I had a whole crew of everything, editor, everything, sound, everything. And I hid it for 2 years because I watched it and I compared it to everybody else's stuff.
And that's what that's the enemy of progress is comparison. Comparisons will
and it
get
was my
you.
first film, but I was comparing it to like these big shows that I'm working on. And it's like, I'm not at that level
you
yet.
Just started, like, and knowing you, it was an iconic piece.
It was really good. And you know, the funny thing, I think once I put it out, because now I'm in a space where I'm like, just put it out there.
Exactly.
If people watch it, they watch it. If they don't, they don't. They give bad feedback, that's great for me. If they give good feedback, shit, we're friends.
Period. You know? Publicity's publicity.
Yes.
Ain't no thing is bad publicity.
And I think after I put the film out, and I put it on YouTube, and I didn't publicize it. I just put it on there. I was like, if anybody watch it, just watch it.
Period.
A year later, I saw the same short film, the same title, Teacher of the Year, the same premise about a school shooting, everything. And it was on HBO Max on the shorts thing. And I was like, oh my God, like, and it was good. It was a good film too.
Yeah.
But I was just like, man, I hated my film because it was my very first one and I was afraid.
Wow.
And then damn near 2 years later, someone with the same exact story, the same exact title, the same everything, ending everything, and it's on HBO Max.
I never knew that.
Yes.
Wow.
And I always think about that moment now where I'm like, see, I can't listen to other people. I have to listen to myself. And sometimes we get in our own way.
We do.
Because in that moment, I got in my own way.
You were like, it's not ready to be seen. When meanwhile, that is, I don't know what validation is if that's not validation. Yeah. Where it's like, well, that was gold, diamonds. Yeah. You were sitting on them.
Sitting on it. So now I'm just like, I'm putting it out there. Like, I'm jump off the porch. Every project I do, I jump off the porch. I don't know, I went to school for producing. Yeah. I think I'm a pretty great producer.
She's amazing. Okay. First of all, like, a round of applause. Period. She's an amazing producer. I just want to say that, period.
Thank you. But I wasn't skilled in directing. So I had to do it on my own. Taking directing classes and this and that. And this goes back to like ignoring other voices.
Exactly.
People were telling me, oh, you don't have to learn this in directing, or you don't have to learn that in directing. And every time I got into a project where I didn't learn something, I felt inadequate. And that right there will make me be like, well, I'm not putting that shit out because I don't feel like I'm ready. But now I got to a point where it's like, no, I'm going to take the classes. I'm going to take acting classes. I'm going to take directing classes. I'm just going to go out and shoot some shit and edit it. And if it worked, it worked. If it doesn't, now I know.
And it's a lesson. I feel like there's no wasted opportunity. Like, you just have to kind of go after it. Or else you're just like, you're losing time.
Losing time.
Yeah. What do you think about, like, that word discernment? Like making those decisions, trusting your intuition?
I think I don't want to say it's something that I struggle with because I'm such a collaborator. Yeah. And so when you collaborate with people, you have to work with them. You know, you have to listen to their ideas and their advice. And for me, like when I'm directing, people think that as a director, it's like, I have final say. say. And it's like, I may not have final say on this. Yeah. This is what I want. But if my DP is saying like, look, it's not going to happen, I can have that conversation and say, how can we make it happen?
Exactly.
And if he says it's impossible, which I don't believe anything is impossible.
Period.
But if he says like, oh, we can't, there's no way we can do this because of all of these like other things like safety and things of that sort, then okay, I will listen to you. Yeah. So I think you have to have discernment when you're listening to yourself or other people.
Yes, 100%.
But for me, I struggle sometimes because I'm a collaborator. So I have to figure out, when do I choose to listen to people? When do I choose to make the final decision and say no? Yeah.
I feel that it's very interesting. I feel like I've become less of a collaborator when it comes to my dreams. You know what I'm saying? Period. Look! Because that's your vision. That's your purpose. That is spiritual. This is why God put you on this earth. Right? Only you really know that. Yeah. Even when you don't know that, you're the one that's going to figure that out.
Okay? And you regret it later.
Exactly. When you don't take the time to. I feel like I'm more of a collaborator in spaces where it makes sense. Like what you said with like when you're filming, you're working with your DP and like other people, like your crew. Yes, that makes sense because that's why you have your team. Everyone has their own specialty, and as long as they're in line with the vision, yes.
That's what matters.
Exactly.
When they're not in line with the vision, they have to go.
They shouldn't be there in the first place.
They shouldn't be there in the first place. But some people sneak up on you.
Okay.
Like they start off that they're a part of the vision. Ooh. You know what I mean? No.
But it's true.
But they do, and then you get into the project and you have invested your time.
Exactly.
And your money.
Exactly.
And then you realize, oh, this person was using me for content. They were using me to build their reel.
Exactly.
So
and it's so painful.
And it's like, how could I build a team when everybody is telling me that they are on the same page as me? And then you get on set or you get whatever project and then you realize like, they're not. They're not a good collaborator.
They're low-key a snake.
In the motherfucking grass.
Literally. And it's the grass that you planted. You fed. You nourished it. And then, yes. How do you define like having like a strong tribe? And what has been your journey to getting to if you believe you have a strong tribe?
Wow. I let a lot of people go.
Who? Sweet. Sweet. It feels good when you do, bro. I'm sorry.
It does. And every time I let someone go in my life, it feels like, man, the baggage is off of my shoulders. And I don't care. Like, it's not like...
That's how you know they shouldn't have been there.
They shouldn't have been there. Look. And you know what's the crazy part? Is I be knowing. When I first meet someone, I know, like, it's like my superpower.
It really is. She's really good at reading people, y'all. Like, really good.
I always say, like, when I meet somebody, I be like, oh, this person's going to be in my life for a little bit. Yeah. Like, a few years, this person will be in my life. Damn. But I know this person isn't going to be here when I get there or there.
Yes.
Like, I'm well aware. Important. But I think it's the small things. The way they talk about others, the way they talk about themselves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's important because I don't want nobody that's around me that don't speak of themselves highly.
Can we speak on that? Because I know there was a moment where I was in a situation with some girls that, let's just say, if it wasn't because of the situation we're in, like, I probably wouldn't be hanging out with them. They're cool people, but the reason why I say that is, like, I'm telling you, we spent a solid couple minutes about somebody saying, oh, this is why I don't like this part of my body. And then everybody else was like comforting them. And I'm just like, I'm not feeling good. I don't like that at all. It's just like, I'm like, why are you beating up on yourself?
And not only that, you're making everybody.
You kind of like comfort you.
Coddle you.
And as I get older, I don't have a lot of toleration for bad vibes.
Me too. Because that shit is contagious. Transferal of energy is serious.
It's so serious.
So for me, like when I'm building my tribe, I try to be around people that's genuine.
Yeah.
Like somebody that I'm like, oh, this person is not gonna snake me, or I already don't allow a lot of people in, and then I may let you in, but I tell you what I want you to know, or give you the information I want to give. So my tribe has to be like super tight, and tight as in I can trust you. If I tell you something important, I know it's not going to go to Willie and Jimmy and everybody, Sally knows my business.
But the world knows.
The world knows.
Yeah.
I also need people around me that's chasing their dreams and their goals.
Please.
I can't have anybody that shit is contagious. I can't have the people that's like shoulda, coulda, woulda around me.
Because it's just like, okay, now I'm going to be in that space. I think that's so important because I definitely had to sleep, especially like right after college, because I just noticed like a lot of the friends I had that weren't ambitious, or they make me feel bad for being ambitious. And the way they try to make me feel bad being ambitious is like, oh, like you don't have a life, like all you focus on is this. And I'm like,
yeah. No.
Versus fast forward now, a majority of my friends are all chasing their dreams. And I'm like, wait, this is normal for us. And that's how we keep it going.
It's normal.
We chose this path.
Yeah.
And you need people around you that empower you, but also you can feel empowered by them, if that makes sense. Like you're seeing their journey, be like I want to get like you type of thing. And
that's deep.
And that's kind of why I ultimately made the decision. I was just like, in this new season of prioritizing me and my happiness, I cannot afford to have people around me that aren't ready to cheer me on. And then I also found out on the low that person was talking shit about me. So that also was like, it's fine. But honestly, even if I didn't hear that, like, I think we always deep down know what the right decision is. Our voices, like, and I think it's that skill of like, okay, am I ready to listen to myself?
Yeah. Or
why am I choosing to not? Yeah.
Also, I would say, listen to your mom. Your mom always mama tell me about everybody. And I feel like you don't know them.
Like,
man, I should have listened.
I actually have exact to the sound. What's the word?
In my heart. I know the whole Dream Girls.
Okay, go ahead. What heart is it? Let's go.
Listen to the sounds in my heart.
The melody I start but can't complete. Listen. Oh, wait to this topic. Listen to your voice, 'cause it's strong like it should. Yes, you should. What's one of the things that helps ground you, or like what's one of those things that stops, like just make sure it's like you're not spiraling?
For me, I know when I'm spiraling when my house is junky and my car looks like a trash can. And that's
my life.
No, but that's when I know, because like cluttered space, cluttered mind, So when I notice that, that's when I'm like, okay, I need to clean up. And then I feel better. I love taking bubble baths late at night.
Yeah.
Candlelight, listening to some Billie Holiday.
Okay.
With my lunch.
Shout out to Billie Holiday.
Treats.
Okay, you're doing treats.
That's my moment when I have to myself, and that's when I shut out like all of the noise, even myself, like my own thoughts. I shut it out, and I'm not thinking. I guess that is, similar to like people that meditate, but of course I have to have some type of noise going on.
Yeah.
So that's when I feel most calm, and then I I just start, when I get done, I write in my journal, and then I started writing in the morning all of the thoughts that come to my mind.
That's a good time to do it because you're fresh up.
Yes.
The day hasn't started, and you can just have that alone time.
And it beats, like, I used to wake up in the morning and jump right on, check emails and search social media.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, just jot all my thoughts down.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind, I realize my mind be like, woof, thought after thought after thought. And it's like, okay. But that's what's helpful for me.
I feel that.
And I think another thing is working out.
Yeah.
I just put on my music. I love hip hop, so that I listen to hip hop and rap most of the time.
Okay, but
and
who are your favorite artists?
Like right now, who I'm listening to?
I mean, all of us.
I'm listening
top 5
of all time. I have a top
That's hard
3
because I can't answer.
Tupac.
Okay.
Lil Wayne.
Okay.
And J. Cole.
Okay, period.
And then the other 2 switch with Who's Ever Hot at the moment. So, like, those 3 will always forever, like, no matter what they do, I'll be a forever fan of theirs.
Period.
And I think for everybody else, it's just like, who's hot right now that I'm listening to?
Yeah.
A lot of women rappers.
That's a lot of what I'm doing right now. Like, Megan, Doja.
Yeah.
Doechii.
Ooh, I love me some Doechii.
Doechii.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting to our close.
Okay.
So, I guess my last couple of questions. First one is, what advice do you have to everyone that's just like watching anyone for them to listen to their own voice?
I would say learn to listen to yours first. Because that's a skill. Like, listening to other people is great, but like, you really have, I honestly think you have to go through that phase of listening to other people and doing things that you don't want to do before you get to the stage where you're like, no, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is how I want it done. Because if you don't go through that stage of hearing all the fluff, you will never know what it is that you really want.
Yeah.
You know? So I would say be patient with yourself.
I agree. So, Dashawna, how do you aim to make every day a yay?
I live by the mantra that everything happens for a reason.
Period.
Everything that I've ever experienced or went through, or even like my failures, I'm like, I needed to fail. I needed those things to happen in order for me to get here right now.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have the same mentality that I have now if I didn't go through those things. So everything happens for a reason, whether it's good, it's bad, it's ugly, it's disgusting.
Period.
It all happens for a reason. I strongly believe that.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Like, I appreciate you so much. Okay, well, Dashawna, how can we support you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Produced by Choppe. That's CHOPPE.
Okay, period. Check it out. Anyways, just remember that every day can be a yay!